Hi, I'm Terry Murphy, Senior Editor for Realty Times, Women in Business, Women in Real Estate in the Men's Room with Murph. But today we have a powerhouse in real estate and all things amazing. Her name is Coni Meyers. That's Coni, Coni Meyers. And we've known each other for a long time. How did we get into this new? Well, it's not new, but it's relatively new for most people to know that there is a program to help kids, and it's called Kits4Kids. And you started this. You're the founder and the president of Be Ready, Be Prepared, Be Ready.org. I always get that mixed up, but I'm hoping either one you get.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about how the Safety Go-Kits were developed and how you got started.
Well, it's quite the story, actually. So I was a FEMA inspector and trainer for 7 years. So I did 50 disasters myself, and I trained thousands of inspectors. And when you go out to a disaster, you see firsthand, even if it is not a terrible disaster, you see firsthand what happens to communities, families, but particularly kids. Over 50% of kids, even if it isn't a major, the whole town was destroyed crisis, um, over 50% of them end up with PTSD. And in 2019, the California Association of Realtors, who has my leadership stuff on their training, sent out an email saying, these are the courses we're looking for in 2020. And one of them was disasters. And I wrote back and I said, nobody gets that but me. So, so I wrote
Did
a
I mention
simple
she was mighty? I mean, did I mention that?
I wrote a simple little 3-hour course that I presented at their big expo that they have every year. And then I did a panel for all of their educators. There was like 250 people in the room for all their educators around the state. And one of the directors from FEMA. I had the head of the LA County CERT program, a fire chief. Then I had two people who had gone through it. One of them was the gentleman who was the association executive for Santa Barbara when they had the fires and the mudslides.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
still 4 people missing from that. And then a dear friend of ours, she went through the Malibu fires, and now she just went through them again. So as I was doing the moderation, I was like, oh my God, there's so much more that needs to be said. So I ended up starting in November, started to write a 5-hour course on a certification course called CCAM Advisors. And what I was going to do is create CCAM advisors all around the country and show these realtors how they could go out and be community leaders and give back and make more money all at the same time, helping people. So I ended up with, because of COVID, I was actually writing about COVID in pandemics in January of 2020. Who would have thought? Anyway, so I was speaking at the National Natural Disaster Expo. And after I got done speaking, a woman walked up to me and she put her finger in my face. She went, you need to be a nonprofit and you need to work with kids. So I went back to my booth and I started telling people, well, we have the CCAM advisor, but we're also our primary objective with our nonprofit, which I applied for the next day, um, is to protect kids. And the conversation went from, well, I'm not sure I'm capable of doing the advisor, blah, 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 to, oh my God, I want to protect kids. How can I help? And that's how Kits4Kids got started. That was in 2023. So here I am. We now have the nonprofit. We had a soft launch in September of last year, which was really amazing. There is a nonprofit here in town called Opportunity Village, and they've been around for over 70 years. They help people with intellectual challenges, with job skills and life skills. And one of the things they do is in training is kitting, where they put kits together, and they do that for companies all over the world.
Well, so let's stop for a second. Kits4Kids is a kit, KIT, because I didn't want that to slide by. There it is. And it's the ultimate thing is for groups to support that so that these kids who go through a trauma, like the floods or the fires or whatever, and they have basically a kit to help them survive until such time. Is that accurate?
That's part of it. So there's some pretty incredible and scary statistics. First of all, 76% of parents are worried about their kids' fears, anxiety, depression. Suicide is up 60% among teenagers. 75% of kids are worried, is there going to be a planet for me to live on? Am I going to get shot? Am I going to be bullied? Am I going to be harassed online? Am I going to be able to school? Am I going to get a job? Young girls are deciding whether or not they want to have children because they don't know what the world's going to look like. And the mental health people say the best way to overcome that is to empower kids, give them something that they can do to give back and be involved. And that's the beginning. So the kits go into the bottom of the everyday backpack. So it goes to school, the playground, activities. It has a tracker so the parents can track where the child is. And we're about to have a button that goes inside it where if the kid needs help, they can push the button. It has something called Bleed Stop, which is a powder that was used by surgeons. And they now have a consumer product where it stops anything from a minor cut to a major wound. And then basic safety stuff. One of the things I love to mention in the kit is this. I just did a Girl Scout troop. It was for homeless and low-income kids. It was girls 5 to 10 years old. So I took everything out of the kit and we put the kit together. And this was the last thing I pulled up because they were little girls. I said, "So what is this?" And they said, "A ponytail ring." I said, "So why do you think there's a ponytail ring in your safety kit?" And this little Asian girl, she was probably 5 or 6 years old, puts her hand up like this and says, "Well, if my friend is bleeding, that might help stop the bleeding." She was 5 or 6 years old. I got all done, and those girls they just opened my heart and
That
blew
just
me
gave me
away.
chills. That just gave me chills.
It just so they're our future, right? So what we need to do is empower these kids and give them the education, which is what the ambassador program is all about. By the way, we have the Go-Kit that goes in the everyday backpack. If there is a disaster, this comes out of their everyday backpack and goes into their emergency kit. You probably can't see that. And they have 40% of what needs to go into that emergency kit. The rest of the stuff is mainly personal stuff. So we created the ambassador program. It's Young Voices, Big Impact. And we're asking kids 12 to 18 to provide us with a 1-minute video about why they want to be the Kits4Kids spokesperson in their community. Now, what have we just done? First of all, we're going to vote on a boy and a girl that are the number one. But now what do we have? We have an army of kids that said they want to be involved. What do the mental health people say? Get them involved.
Get them involved, build a community.
Exactly. And I just did some research because I'm writing a course for the ambassador program. And there's like 10 reasons why you want kids to be the voices when you're trying to sell something. It's way more powerful than you and me trying to sell somebody something.
Oh, every day. First of all, they're really, really cute. And we're still kind of cute, but not as cute as we were when we were 6.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, and kids are not afraid of asking. They're not afraid of commenting. When you talk to a kid, you're going to get what's really on their mind, right?
Yeah.
Not so much with adults.
Well, kids they're so transparent because they've got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
We unfortunately, because I worked with communication in the courts, and holy cow, I mean, there's just all kinds of biases that we're not aware of, and kids are just like, this is it. But here's the thing, I mean, you and I had a different childhood, I'm going to assume. Your parents would throw you out of the house in the morning and ride your bike and say, come home at dinner.
Exactly.
They didn't care. But now things are different. And so for these children, it gives them a sense of safety, I would say, having that.
A sense of safety and a sense of they have a little bit of power.
Yeah.
Have a little bit of, okay, if something happens. And then around the ambassador program, once they have said, yes, they want to do it, then we're providing them education for all kinds of things, foster care, autism, diabetes,
Wow.
food insecurity, so that they are aware in their community if something like that is happening. So that we're
go ahead.
True community leaders.
Yeah, well, because I know that communities can benefit from this initiative because at the end of the day, boots on the ground local is where these kids live. And so tell me how, if I was a community, how can I get involved? How can I benefit?
You can just reach out to me, Coni Meyers, at bepreparedbeready.org, and reach out to me, and we'll create a program around whatever the needs are for that community. So, every community is different. So we design it around what those needs are for that community.
So
Yeah.
I'm asking, do we say the chamber? Do we say the Better Business?
Oh,
Yeah.
so I just in about 2 weeks ago, we just announced a partnership with Kiwanis. Are you familiar with Kiwanis at all?
Yes. Yes.
Oh my God. So I did not know. I knew they had the key clubs, but they have the key, the kid club, and then they have the builders club. Those are elementary and middle school. And we just partnered with the first one we're working with is the District of Texas and Oklahoma. And in their key club alone, they have 16,000 kids.
Wow.
Can you imagine 16? Not all of them are going to do it, obviously, but even if we get 30%, just imagine the impact we can have in those communities. And here's the bottom line is adults will listen to those kids far faster and believe them far more than if you and I talk to them. And let's face it, the one thing, there's not a lot we can agree on in this country right now. However, the one thing we can agree on is we want to protect our kids and we want our kids to have a future.
Even if you don't have a kid, you want to protect them. I mean, you see the fragility of a child because uh, in the work I do, obviously, I see the end where they're either a victim or a casualty of a problem. And you see how innocent that is and how important it is. I mean, every kid wants to feel safe, and they're getting information about an unsafe world. And so if I'm a chamber of commerce, if I'm the Kiwanis, if I'm part of a church group, what do I do? Buy these
Okay,
kits?
there's a couple of different ways we're doing that. You can buy the core of the kits, they're not put together. But and then you use those as like for Kiwanis or Rotary or when they have the chamber if they have kids programs or like Boys and Girls Club or the Scouts, all of those. They can buy the components of the kits or they can get somebody to sponsor them. Like I'm putting together a couple of big programs right here in Vegas to launch the ambassador program. And I'm getting local sponsors because they all want to show up and show how they support kids. Plus, there's other nonprofits. Like I haven't found anybody doing what I'm doing, knock on wood. But there's all kinds of other nonprofits that want to protect kids in different ways. Like I know 5 or 6 companies or nonprofits here in Oregon, listen to me, in in Vegas that all deal with foster kids. And so I formed a coalition for all of these nonprofits to get together because why are you out there beating the bushes on your own when you can be doing it jointly? So we're working with other nonprofits as a coalition to be able to support kids in all of the nonprofits we're working with have to do with kids. I can
So
tell you
like,
how serious this is. Meet the Press about a month ago. Meet the Press, the political show, right? They devoted a whole hour, their whole entire show to the tragedies and the emergency of what's happening with our kids. Nothing political, strictly about what are we going to do about the crisis with our kids.
so um, you're right. It's our future, and we don't need a whole bunch of issues with PTSD and insecurities and low confidence. And, because at the end of the day, this is the most formative time of kids' lives. I mean, if they're under 10, especially. So, what kind of organizations are you looking for? Are you looking to go to IBM and see if they want to donate? I mean, what's the process for getting you the kinds of establishments, nonprofits, whatever, that can help support you and the mission you're on?
I am definitely looking for sponsorships because we want to be able to sponsor a lot of these kits because some families and some people and some organizations may not be able to afford them. So we're looking for sponsors. I am very blessed. So Opportunity Village is one of my sponsors. I also have Thrivent Financial, and they have like each event I've done, they've donated a little bit of something. So it doesn't matter what kind of corporation. I would love it if we had some that were involved with kids, some kind of program that they have that's maybe through their foundation. We could partner with them. So I'm looking for sponsorships, but I'm also looking for collaborative partners where that I can support them and they can support me. I have a really good example. This is a woman, she's in her 90s out of San Diego, and she has distributed, these say, "Who I am makes a difference." It's a little ribbon. She has a whole program around. She's distributed worldwide 10 million of these. Her goal is 1 billion. And that's a perfect partnership because we're talking about self-esteem. We're talking about how to protect themselves. And so it's a great partnership to have. But anything that is someone that we can work with, that we can benefit one another as a collaborative
Okay.
partner or a
So
sponsorship.
my thought was because we've got at Realty Times, our expansion is global, and everything's around food, shelter, and clothing. You know that, right? So it's even though it's real estate related, it's life related, and having a platform like Realty Times News and Realty Times News TV gives us an opportunity to share a message. So if I were a person who has a company, or if I was a person that had an association, what's the best way to reach you?
Best way to reach me is through the email or text message, and I'll give you my phone number. It's 503-805-6621. And my name, as you see there, it's CONIMEYERS at bepreparedbeready.org. Or go to our website, bepreparedbeready.org, and
And
you'll
get what you
find me
need.
there.
Yes. And so, I mean, what's the actual cost of a kit if it's assembled?
It's $25 if you buy a single kit or one or two kits. If you buy 10 kits or more, then we can reduce the price.
Discount. So my point is, think about this as, I mean, obviously we're past the season for gift giving, but what if instead of sending chocolates or nuts, or fruit to your clients and customers at the holiday, you gave a donation of $25 or $35 to Kits4Kids? I can't imagine with a little note that wouldn't be as impressive or as meaningful to
I
people.
have
Because
I have I have a story about that. So if you're a realtor or whatever kind of business you have, can you imagine? So if you're a listing agent and you're going out there, well, you're going to see two or three other packets of others that they've talked to, right? If you walk in and you say, "This is the book," and it's when the end thing will have is be prepared, be ready, and it's a reference guide of everything you need to know about crisis and being prepared, including financial, written by Glenn Wagstaff, who's the #1 estate planner in the world. He's got the longest firm. And you walk in and you give this before you have a conversation about the house. You go, "Here is a gift for you because I want your house, the next house you have, to be safe and prepared." And then you found out that they have two kids or two grandkids. And you go, "Here is a kit that I want to give for you to protect your kids." And the best right now, we are in the best time ever for you to help protect kids because these go into their everyday backpack that goes to school. They're getting ready to go on off school, but now they start really promoting the idea of putting backpacks in schools for kids. Ideal for them. So
I, yeah, wow. I mean, first of all, it's wildly impressive, and second of all, it has a higher purpose, and that's what in the most basic way, that's what we do for each other. We're all of service to each other, and I commend you for what you've done because I know that you've been relentless about this. Trust me, she's been relentless. I've known her for years, but I want to thank you so much again. Support Kits4Kids. Go to be prepared, be ready. I did that right.
yeah,
Because you never know what's going to happen when you save one kid.
that's
And
it. A simple
and by
donation,
the
we're so
way,
grateful.
for those of you that are or no grandparents, especially the new ones, oh yeah, get them involved. They are the easiest touch to help kids because they get to live life again through a child.
I have so the lady who's the director of business development at Opportunity Village, she took one to her 5-year-old grandson, and she thought, oh, he would just look at it and no big deal. No, he spent an hour taking everything out and explaining to grandma why this was so important. He was 5 years old, and he's explaining to her.
This is why I didn't have children. I did not want them to show me up. Okay. I just enjoy everybody else's kids. Connie, thanks again. You're going to be joining us again as we do this because we want some feedback on companies, associations, groups, communities that are implementing this incredibly great thing. And it'll help inspire other people or give them a way to discover a way to give back. Thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me. It was just, I love you to death. Thank you.